to Dear Booksplosion. Today we're doing a very fun themed episode for the spooky month. We're talking about fears and anxieties and Boggarts and all sorts of... And we're live!
Oh my god, I'm sorry, my bad. That was me.
So let's do a quick introduction. Hi, I'm Kat.
Hi, I'm Christine.
Hi, I'm Jesse.
And we're Booksplosion! We're a book club. We read books together every month and do live show discussions about them. And we also do this, Dear Booksplosion, once a month, where we talk about advice and just hang out with y'all. So before we get into our themed episode today, we have some fun stuff to talk about. We want to briefly mention our current Book of the Month lineup here. So October, our Book of the Month is The Fountains of Silence by Ruta Sepetys. Who wants to tell a little bit about this? Just like a sentence.
I can do it. Okay, it takes place, it's about siblings in 1957 in Spain during the rule of Francisco Franco, a dictator where they lived under a lot of oppression and horrible rules that a good dictator enforced. And it's so good, so good, so good.
It's great. 5 out of 5 stars.
I haven't started it yet, but I'm really, really excited too. And then our November Book of the Month is Cursed by Frank Miller and Thomas Wheeler. And we actually just hosted a giveaway. We're giving away 2 hardcover copies of this book. Unfortunately, the giveaway is over if you haven't entered it already. We're going to announce the winners at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. And who wants, Jesse, do you want to give us a quick one?
This is a King Arthur retelling with a twist where instead of King Arthur being a boy, it's a girl, I think?
Yeah, the sword chooses a queen instead of a king is like the one-liner premise, yeah. And
are we doing the
you're holding it up, so we might as well. Our December Book of the Month is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by BRIGID, KEMMERER. This came out earlier this year, and the second book comes out in January. So we're reading book 1 to gear up for the release in January.
Yeah.
And this is like a sort of a fairy tale-esque loose retelling of Beauty and the Beast.
Cool beans, yo.
So that's our lineup for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Oh, and our December show is going to be a good... We always have so much fun on the December shows because we get to do like the superlatives, like rank all of the books for the year. So yeah, hope y'all can tune in to our upcoming live shows.
Yeah, we do like a whole yearbook's worth of different superlatives and we like take votes from you guys. Super fun. So don't want to miss December or any of the other months because we love seeing and hearing from y'all. And we're going to be doing themed Dear Booksplosions all throughout the rest of forever. We'll let you know what the next theme is at the end of today's show.
Oh, are we? Okay, cool. Yeah, I guess we have to. Okay, so now let's jump into the fears. And before we start tackling your question, we're going to play a little bit of a game amongst ourselves where we're going to guess some of each other's fears and like start off with one of those. So one of you guys want to guess one of my fears, and I'll tell you if you're right or wrong. And
well, did you write down strange fears, or did you write down straightforward fears, like, you know?
A little bit of both.
Okay, Jesse, you guess.
Why me?
Because I'm thinking of all the mainstream fears. Are you afraid of your books falling on you in an earthquake?
Not really. I mean, it's a good theory, but I don't like spend. I don't spend enough time close to the bookshelves to have that be a real worry. Like I'm strategically, my chair is far enough away that I'll be fine. Jesse, yes. What's your guess?
Fire.
No, I love fire.
But like,
fire is such a boring mainstream fear.
you
Yeah, I live in California and we have fires.
And you have fire threats and like, are you not afraid of everything burning to the ground?
Well, I want fire magic, so like, I'm not afraid of it. I'm just not immune to it. So like it could kill me, but I wouldn't want it to. I want to control the fire.
Okay. Someone asked which book talk is this? And Jennifer, this isn't a book talk. We're talking about our strange fears and anxieties for October. And you could send in yours. Emails are awesome at gmail.com. I'm still checking them. But also you could just say in the chat and we might see it. But right now we're talking about ours. So just give us a second. We're playing our little game.
It could kill me.
Okay. Kitten.
Wait, I have one.
You have another one?
Going bald.
Oh my God, that is such an irrational fear.
Not really. I mean,
Well, I don't know. It's like having like a hair.
That's I feel like a lot of people.
Wrong and like burning off your hair, isn't that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think about shaving my head sometimes, so like I'm not that concerned about it.
What is it then? Tell us.
I have so many.
Okay, we're just doing one. So tell us one. Oh wait, let's let the chat guess really quickly. Kat,
Have any guesses?
yeah, do you have a guess of what one of Kat's weird fears are? I mean,
their responses will be a little delayed.
yeah. So want to guess one of Jesse's?
Oh yeah, you can guess one of mine.
Did you have one, Jesse?
Yeah, I have a list of things.
No, I mean, like, did you have a guess that you were gonna say for Kat before?
Oh wait, just falling off a tall building.
Actually, I'll give you that one.
Oh yeah.
I'm not like afraid of heights, but whenever I'm up really high, like on a tall building looking out a window or something, like I get kind of dizzy and like I don't want to do that.
That was the most mainstream.
Yeah, no, that's not one that's even on my list. Because it's like something that
Kat, share one of your weird fears.
one of my weird fears,
Yeah, one of the weird fears.
moths. I'm terrified of moths. Someone said people.
I know, I just saw that.
You're not wrong. But moths are a huge fear of mine, and I know it's irrational. Like I'm not afraid of butterflies, and they're the same freaking thing.
I kind of was when I was in the butterfly like bubble. She's like, do I don't like hear it.
Yeah. But I don't know. Moths, just the way they like flap and like throw themselves into light bulbs all haphazard, and like they're like mothy powder and stuff. I'm not a fan. And I love Strange the Dreamer, which has a lot of moths in it. I do not like moth. Like I will run away if there's a moth in the room. I can't.
Fun times. I didn't know moths had powder on them.
They're like butterflies, like they're powdery wings, and like I don't like them.
Dude, I just noticed your name is
Anxiety man.
Oh man.
What if that was my screen name? Okay, Jesse, your weird fears. Your teeth falling out.
No. I mean, that is scary, but it's not one of my fears.
I've had bad dreams of, like, I've had nightmares of that, and I hate it.
Too. They're so scary. Or like biting into something and just like your teeth come out.
Yeah, I like wake up and I'm like afraid. I'm like, are my teeth still there? Kat's afraid of giving us more cooking with Kat. It's true. My greatest fear.
Accidentally deleting your entire book that you've been working on for a year.
That is horrifying.
That idea is terrifying, but like I'm so anxious. I back up my work like 10,000 times. Like I email the book to myself every night when I'm done working on it.
I email it like every like couple weeks, and like it's been a while.
More sooner than that. Every couple weeks, you could lose a couple weeks of work.
Cat, knock on wood.
Save your shit. Let's see. Okay, Jesse's fears.
I guessed one, so somebody else guessed one. I'm gonna retweet the link to get in here because I forgot to tweet it.
Oh, I did too.
Jesse is afraid of the dark.
No.
Oh.
That's not a weird fear. Okay.
Can I give you guys a hint? That's like, it's like a very vague hint, but think of when we stay in hotel rooms.
Okay, bed bugs?
No. No, that is terrifying.
I think everyone's afraid of bed bugs. Someone's like, oh, I'm chill with the bed bugs. Like, that's fine.
Are you scared of snoring?
No. Though I am scared of you knocking me out when I snort. No, I'm kidding.
The pillow won't knock you out.
Scared of, actually, I guess that's kind of my fear. In hotels, I'm scared of being on a really high floor because, like, if the building falls, then we're up so high.
I always think about it catching fire and being stuck at the top floor.
You remember when you were in the shower and the fire alarms went up in the New York hotel?
Oh my god, that was so scary. I like got out of the shower with a towel soaking wet. I was like,
they just went off and we're like, okay, I guess we're good.
So we just stay in here.
I'll give you a little more of a hint. Like, what's one of the first things that I do when I get into a hotel room?
Oh my god, this question, shave, pee. Look at your phone.
You usually sit around while Christina and I have to like hang up our clothes in the closet.
More so, I guess, before bed.
You plug in your phone. Is this your fan?
No, come on, guys.
Tell us. You gotta tell us. We gotta move forward.
Okay. I untuck the bed covers because I get claustrophobic.
Oh, that's a fear?
Like spaces and like being like, just like, ugh,
I love being all smothered by the blankets.
So much. Oh,
I do notice you do that because it's always like, oh my god, you're not gonna be tucked in.
The covers untucked. I cannot handle it.
So, is it just about like covers pinning you down, or is it like heavy blankets? Like, would you ever have like a weighted blanket?
Like just claustrophobic spaces and like feeling trapped. Like I feel like I'm trapped when I'm in like a bed that's like tucked in like that.
Can I quickly, just on the subject of anxiety blankets, how many of you guys in the chat have had an anxiety blanket? Does anybody have one? Do you guys have one?
I haven't had one, but I've been wanting to buy one for a long time. It's just I was going to buy one over the summer, but it was too hot for me, so I didn't.
I got one, right? And I'm expecting this to be like my savior. And every time I use it, I wake up feeling like I'm being crushed, like, and having bad dreams. And it's like either it ends up on the floor or I end up waking up like, and I have the lightest one. It's 15 pounds. And maybe I have to try just using it like around when I'm like anxious instead of sleeping with it. Yeah. But my gosh, I love being tucked in and tight with the weight of the covers, but like the weight of the anxiety blanket is too much weight apparently for my brain to handle. It thinks I'm dying. Anyway, so okay, Jesse's was being tucked in. Kat's first fear here was oh my god, I forgot it already.
Good, you can't use it against me.
Oh, moths. Okay, what do you think one of mine is?
Germs.
I have a lot of fears that aren't necessarily weird, like germs. You don't like germs.
Yeah, but like, I mean, if you want, I could go into detail about germ stuff because I do like have irrational germ fears, or you can guess again.
I mean, I think one is just like, you can't read about like some bad things. Like you can't read about like people who are sick.
Is that irrational?
I mean,
I feel like that's part of my like mental like anxiety illness. Like, because I just like, I don't just get afraid. Like I all of a sudden have it, and like I like convince myself, oh, I'm having the symptoms. But for the germaphobe thing, like I do have like very irrational. Like I don't want to touch things after I've touched certain things, and like I'll just like go like if I can't like wash my hands before I eat at a restaurant or use antibac, I feel very, very uncomfortable, and I'm just like this. I can't touch people's dogs. I don't want people to shake my hands unless I have antibac right after. Like, but like I definitely have weirder ones, but like I can't remember them off the top of my head because I should have written this down in detail. I don't want people, I don't like when people sleep in my bed without showering. And like I've learned to adjust to it, and I'll just change the sheets in the morning. But like
I don't think that's a fear. That's just like cleanliness. Like,
I don't know. I'm just afraid of their germs and stuff. Like I think it's like in my head, it's like a fear of the dirt and the germs, like being in my safe space.
And Christine is also afraid of suitcases on the bed.
Oh my God! Don't put your suitcase near my bed. I won't touch a suitcase unless I wash my hands right after. When I'm unpacking, I'm washing my hands like every other second of my life because I'm like moving the suitcase around. Someone saying that Christine's scared of herself drunk. I don't like. Well, you know what? The one time that I guess there's a couple times that I felt like almost drunk. But I feel there's one time that sticks out because I had like 3 like whiskeys at a party, and I was like feeling like spinny, and I just was like, I'm gonna die. I need to drink water. I want to throw up. I don't know what's happening. I hate it. I hate the feeling of being drunk. I don't get it. It's not for me.
I feel like another one of your fears is missing a meal.
Oh my God. Well, I can't miss meals.
Exactly.
I don't think that's a fear.
That's like an anxiety, but like I just get very hangry. I have so many of these. For the next one, we can volunteer one, so that way we don't spend so long. But let's read a thing.
All right. Who wants to kick it off?
I'll kick it off.
What's an anxiety blanket? Can I just say really quick? It's a blanket that's weighted so that you can't, and it's supposed to help you calm down. And so the weight is distributed through the whole blanket, but like they come in a certain amount of pounds. Depending on how much you weigh, you're supposed to like buy a correlating amount of weight to help you ease your anxiety. And 15 pounds is like usually the lightest. I feel like there was a couple 12 pounds ones. But yeah, it's heavier than you'd imagine 15 pounds to be.
Okay. Here's the first question from Owl Lover. I have a strange fear of being under bridges, which is a problem when I'm in the car and we get stopped under a bridge. Do you have any advice as to how I could get over this fear?
Never go under a bridge.
Stay clear of bridges. I have a similar fear to this, except it's the opposite. I don't like being on bridges.
Jesse, I have the same exact.
I have the same fear.
And every time I have to drive to San Francisco, like the airport, to get to the airport, I have to drive over the Golden Gate Bridge, and it gives me so much anxiety every single time. Because like it's just such a long stretch of bridge over water. Like, what happens if the bridge falls? Like, it hasn't yet, but it only needs to happen once while I'm on it.
I always picture them collapsing or me just like driving off of it by accident. And, like, I've had dreams. Have you had dreams where your car went off the bridge? Like, oh my God, so many nightmares like that. And and it hasn't stopped until I've like hit the water and been submerged and dying. Like, God.
Yeah, that's another one of my fears. It's like being in water in my car and like drowning and not being able to get out. Like,
oh my God, that is something that is always on my mind.
I know.
Also, the window thing. Like back in the day, windows used to roll down with a handle. But now, like, if your car doesn't have power, you can't push the button to roll the window down.
Well, I watched a whole documentary about this when I was like 9. So ever since then, I've been thinking about how to get out if we were submerged. And what you have to do is like, because the pressure is weird, you have to wait till you're fully submerged to be able to open the door. So if you can't get the window open before that, you have to wait till you're fully submerged. And the window, once it's fully submerged, you can use, my dad bought me these things, but it's like, it kind of looks like a flat screwdriver and you like bang it into the window a couple times and it breaks the window. But like, you could probably try to do that with like something else that's like a pinpoint. But yeah, the easiest way if you can't get it open is to wait completely submerged to open the door. And it can be hard because of the water pressure.
Yeah, and you're having a panic attack while you're under there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But stay calm till you're fully submerged. Take a big breath and get the fork out.
Back to bridges though. My town, I think it was like a year or 2 ago, they realized that like all the bridges needed updating. Like they were 10 years overdue of like being restructured and stuff. And so they like have just finally started redoing them, and I'm like, what has taken them so long? Like, what if something bad happens? What if I die? So.
Have any of you guys ever watch Fear Factor?
Yeah, I loved Fear Factor when I was younger.
Did you ever think that you could go on the show?
No, I would have died.
I would have been. I feel like I would have been okay with most episodes of like the stunty things. Like I wasn't. I might not have been able to physically do them, but I wasn't like afraid of them because it seemed pretty safe. But like, there's always one that's like a disgusting thing where you have to like
put your head in a box of spiders.
Or it like plunge for apples and like pig's blood or something horrifying. And like I could never do that.
I always remember when they had like these things that look like water coffins where you had to like hold your breath for as long as you can in this little like claustrophobic water coffin made of glass. Oh my God, that was so scary. But yeah, my favorite was to watch was always the disgusting one though.
I can't even watch them.
That's the most interesting. Who wants to read a question?
Wait, do we have any advice for how to get over this bridge fear?
There's like exposure therapy, just walk under a lot of bridges. No, just go really fast.
I think you just gotta breathe and just gotta like kind of tell yourself while it's happening, like this is gonna be fine. Like just gotta get through. It's gonna be fine. But it's hard to just shake that feeling. You just kind of have to like accept the feeling and just get past it as quick as possible.
Yeah. What I do when I'm like in a situation where I'm like horrified, like, oh my gosh, I went to the dentist for the first time in 5 or 6 years last year or the year before, and they had to do a deep cleaning and they had to like numb every quadrant of my mouth with these giant needles, and like I never had my mouth fully numbed like that, and I was just freaking out the whole time. And all I did the whole time was like, everything's gonna be okay, everything's gonna be okay, everything's gonna be okay, be strong, believe. Like over and over and over again for like an hour while she just like went at my teeth with these like ancient instruments from the 1800s. Oh. So a mantra.
Yeah, someone in the comments was mentioning about passing through San Francisco and like, what if there's an earthquake on the bridge? That is exactly my fear.
That's like every fear in California.
Yeah, because there's earthquakes all the time, and like all it takes is like one big one, and it's just.
Or like one Death Eater playing around with your bridge, and it goes kaput. Okay, somebody's terrified of horses. You know, horses can be rather scary because they can do a lot of damage to you by accident.
All big animals, like even animals that seem gentle, like horses or cows or something, like that's a big ass animal, and it's an animal. Like it could kill you.
Someone said, Ella says my aunt got me a Minnie Mouse doll that crawled across the floor, and I was just like, nope. Why would it crawl? A Minnie Mouse on all fours? Anyway, do we want to read another one?
Sure, I have one.
Okay.
Dear Booksplosion, I occasionally use dating apps, which means during the introduction phase, they don't get to hear how I pronounce my name. I don't mind it, except that more often than not, it'll be the third date and they're calling me by name for the first time, and I feel like it's too awkward to correct them on something as basic as my name that far in. Please help. I get caught off guard each time and let it go, which makes it even more awkward if I correct them farther down the line. With a hard G, please and thank you, Brigitta?
Brigitta! That's my hard G!
Yeah. Brigitta, correct that dude, correct that person, whoever it is, whatever they say it. Like, I don't want you to be like 4 years into your relationship and be like, my name's actually Brigitta. Like, you don't want to be Jerry, whose name is Gary, and like 12 years go by and he's like, yeah, my actual name is Gary.
See, I've had experience with this because I go by Kat. And a lot of people that I'll meet them online by the name of Kat. They don't know my full name.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys both thought my name was Catherine at first. right? Probably.
No, I thought your name was Katie.
Well, what's that short for?
Your name would just be Katie.
Anyways, a lot of people think my name is Catherine, and sometimes I don't have the heart to correct them because it's like been so long. I'm like, we've been friends for years online, and then they'll like they'll be like, whatever you say, Catherine, like trying to use the full name, and I'm just like, who are you talking to?
My name's Kathleen. But I think the thing with your name is Catty-tastic. It looks like either you're Katie-tastic or Catty-tastic, and that was what I didn't. I was like, oh my god, is her name Katie or Catty? How do you say it? Katie or Catty? And even when I asked you, you're like, either way.
Yeah, because here's what happened. I was originally Cat-tastic. Like my email was Cat-tastic, my Twitter was Cat-tastic, and YouTube wouldn't let me have a space or a hyphen. So I was like, I need some letter to go in there. I guess I'll throw a Y in there, and it's just a random Y. It could be a silent Y.
Wait a minute. You know what you should have done? 3 T's. Cat-tastic.
Well, it's too late for that now.
I like 3 T's.
Time for a rebrand, Kat.
That's too many T's. My full name has like 10 E's in it or something like that. It's like ridiculous.
Oh my god, you could have did Kate-tastic. Kate.
But then people are gonna call me Kate, and I never go by Kate.
Well, then you could be like, my name's Cat-E-tastic.
I'm just gonna change my YouTube channel so it's just my name. Because we can do that now, right?
No, don't do it. Reserve the urge. Next question? What was this question?
This question was about name pronunciation.
Oh yeah, okay. So my advice is to correct it whenever. It's your name, so you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it in like a fun way. Like you don't have to make it an awkward thing and be like, actually, my name is like, I don't know, depending on what your relationship was with the person, like you can kind of be sassy or you can be.
Do it to me. I want to pretend that you corrected it. We've been on 3 days.
Okay, Chrisleen, how are you?
You know, like you've been saying my name wrong. And like it's all good because people do this all the time because Christine's like just hard to say, but it's actually Christine, Chrisistine. I can really do it for you.
Okay.
I can change it in your phone. Do you?
Yeah. And I kind of wish you said something like last month when I first called you this, but I guess.
Well, the thing is, you didn't call me that. You just like called me, hey, you know?
Oh, I do that sometimes. Yeah, that's fair.
A lot of people do that, and it's like, I have a name. I say John's name all the time, but he barely ever says Christine unless he's talking to other people.
See, that always makes me nervous when people don't say my name, because I'm always like, do you know my name? Like, I'm like, do you know it? Like, you keep calling me like, hey, or you keep not saying my name. Like,
oh, well, I mean, it is a tactic. Well, they might not because your name's Catty-tastic.
I'm afraid of getting people's names wrong. So like sometimes even if I think I know someone's name, I'm afraid to say it if I'm not like 1,000,000% sure.
Wait, ask me my name again.
What's your name?
Oh wait, no, that's not right.
Say it the other way. Hey, Chrisleen, what's up?
My name's Christine. Date over. Okay, next question.
Did you see that meme from Tumblr where you like put the breadstick in your purse? Have you seen that meme?
No.
No, never mind.
Okay.
I think we need to talk about our own weird fears again.
Wait, I haven't done one yet.
Okay, do a question.
Okay. This one relates back to my fear. This is from R. Leary. So she says, my little sister was scared of germs when she was younger. So when she would annoy me, I would lick my hand and chase her around the house. This is pure evil. How dare you do that to her? This is horrible. This is so classic Olivia, who is my sister, who would put her feet on my my pillow when I left the room and film it on my computer so I wouldn't see it until later on, and then know after I've used the pillow that her disgusting beach feet were all over it.
This reminds me.
The one time that we were staying in a hotel and Christine took her pillow into the shower because she was afraid that we were going to sit on it while she was in the shower.
I love that I didn't even have to say anything and you just knew what I was talking about, Kat.
Because I thought of the exact same thing. As soon as she mentioned feet on the pillow, I was like, one time we were all joking about like, oh, Christine's taking a shower, I'm gonna put my butt on her pillow. And she kept coming out of the bathroom and like, no one's sitting on my pillow, until she finally just gave up and showered with the pillows.
I have been scarred.
Well, I think one time even somebody accidentally sat on your pillow and we like ordered new pillows.
Well, okay. When we invite people to our hotel room, so they cannot sit on my side of the bed unless they're closer to the bottom. So like divided in half, you can sit on the bottom half. But like when I'm not in the room sometimes and they already have come in and they're talking to like Kat or Jesse, and then I come in and I see that like someone's butt is close to my sleeping area. It's not okay. It's not okay. Someone said I should do that to my brother. Do not do that, Jaden.
I mean, the thing is, the funniest part is like, none of us were actually going to mess with Christine's pillow because we're not like that. But she still had to shower with the pillow.
I grew up with someone like that. No one can be trusted anymore. Jesse, or no, Kat, share one of your strange fears, and then Jesse.
Am I going to guess, or am I just going to share a strange?
We're just going to share one so we can discuss it.
Okay, this is one that I think someone mentioned this in an earlier comment too. It's something that we were talking about the other day. What's it called? Typophobia. It's a fear of like clusters and stuff, like a hornet's nest or something. Like those kind of clusters, or like a lot of like eyes together, or just I don't know. It looks so creepy. The new cameras on the iPhone, those 3 little like bug eyes on the phone. I hate it. It looks so ugly. It gives me the creeps.
I love it.
No.
And I don't even have an iPhone.
No.
Does it like clusters of anything, or like specifically like bug eye looking things?
It's called trypophobia. If you search trypophobia.
What about these 3 water bottles?
Some pictures will show up and you'll see. No, that's not. That's,
okay.
Just water bottles.
There's a cluster of water bottles.
That just looks delicious. I love water.
I know, me too.
Okay.
Do not Google it. Do not Google it.
And you'll see what I'm talking about. Google the word and you'll.
Christine.
No.
Google it.
I'm not doing it.
Do not Google
it. Google it. You're making fun of me.
There are hands that you do not want to see.
Look at it.
Gross. I'm scarred. Maybe I have trypophobia.
Jesse, what's your next weird fear?
Okay, well, I don't know if it's that weird, but I don't like bodies of water. I don't like bodies of water where you can't see what's below you. Like,
oh my god, neither do I.
Water? Like, not a fan. I can do like the ocean where you can like clear water, but like can't see what's below you. That really freaks me out.
The ocean, like the Atlantic Ocean, a lot of times you can't see unless it's like low tide. But I used to play in it anyway, but I would just be so afraid the whole time of touching the ground. Like I would never touch the ground because they have those big, like giant crabs with dark shells. What are those called? Horseshoe crabs. And I was always petrified that I would land on it. Anytime I felt anything, I'm like, it's a horseshoe crab. And it's like, they don't really do anything to you unless you like step like right in the wrong spot because they have like a huge shell. But oh my god, horrifying. Anyone have anything else to say on Jesse's fear?
I mean, I'm afraid of that too. Especially stuff that's like really deep under the ocean that like humans don't know about yet. Like that's terrifying. That's like space in the ocean. It's like what's down there.
I think that has something to do with why I like don't like eating. I can't eat fish, like because they're
Oh
like.
yeah, I can't eat fish. I just don't like how they smell or taste.
I don't like how they smell. I don't like how they taste. I don't like how they look. I don't like anything. They're just like, ugh. Okay. One of my strange fears. Let me see. Oh my god. Okay. So one of my like living alone fears is always irrationally like getting locked out of my apartment because I just am always afraid anytime I leave it, I'm going to be locked without the key. And then I'm going to have to speak with a neighbor and like have someone knock down my door. And like, I don't want to talk to neighbors. I don't want to be, I'm afraid to like walk to John's house without my cell phone and be like, please help me.
You need to give John a key.
Yeah.
Well,
Do that. Wait, have you locked yourself out of your apartment?
no, but like there was one time that I like couldn't get in because the actual mechanism was broken. It was horrifying. And then like I called to get it fixed and I went inside and then I couldn't get out because it wasn't like latching onto the other side of the door. So it wouldn't open. It was just like pulling the whole thing off and like the door stayed shut. It was so scary. I have locked myself out of like many a dorm room, but I've always had like a roommate to call.
Yeah.
There's also like you get more paranoid about it when you don't have any sort of like safety net. Like you like when I lived at home, I was a lot more flippant about like, oh, I might lock myself out but it's okay because I have other family members who have access. Like if I lock myself out of my apartment, like I'm screwed. I have to like go down to the rental office and ask for a spare key or something.
Like I would have to like I don't have a phone if I locked myself out, if I left my phone in here. So like anytime I take out the garbage, I lock the door and I'm like 2 feet away. Lock it. Like I never do anything. I'm like, okay, lock on the door, take my keys. Yeah. That wasn't that weird, but like it haunts me. Do we have another question from the audience?
Let's take a look.
Oh, from the emails?
Yeah. It's so quiet.
I have one. Okay. Dear Booksplosion, I have a fear of falling in love with my current favorite things. I recently noticed that I don't love Harry Potter, which has been a part of my life for a very long time, as much as I used to. How do I deal with not feeling anything towards something that once gave me so much joy? Not just for Harry Potter, but for other books, movies, TV shows in general. That's so sad that you fell out of love with Harry Potter.
I feel like maybe it just ebbs and flows and you just need to break away from it.
Yeah.
And like sometimes that happens like when you're in like the peak initial stage, like you can like love something so much and like years later you don't feel that same way, but you can still look back on that time with like a fondness and like remember how you felt then. So it's better like you lose it completely because it was still a part of you at that time.
Yeah, like with Harry Potter, not that I ever fell out of love with it, but I didn't reread it for like 6 or 7 years. So I just wasn't as connected to that like feeling and fandom and all that stuff. But like recently, I think in 2015, I started rereading them, and now like the love has come back like tenfold. Like it's just like, so I mean, again, I think it's something that goes up and down depending on like the phase of life you're in and what specific other things you're interested in that might just be taking up more of your like fangirl heart, you know? You're allowed to like different things at different times and then come back to something you loved before. Maybe you'll love it even more because, you know, you've been away from it and you forgot how great it was.
You'll appreciate it more.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to get back in love with it and you just like aren't feeling that, you can try like really immersing yourself in the fandom. Like, you know, listen to podcasts or look up fan art of Harry Potter, whatever the thing is, and see how other people are like sharing their love and excitement. Because that's something that really gets me excited. Like seeing someone else excited and passionate gets me more excited and passionate too. So just like immersing yourself in that sort of like energy can help you find that again if it's something you're like wanting to search for.
Yeah, highly recommend MuggleCast. It's my favorite. They do chapter by chapter where they go like one chapter at a time and like discuss it in detail, and I love it. It's my favorite thing. And they're doing book 5 right now. So you can go back like 10 episodes, maybe even less, and like start with them on book 5. And it's just been so fun because I'm just happened to be listening to book 5. I'm on a constant rotation of the audiobooks. Like I listen to them to go to sleep. So I'm on book 5 right now. Book 5 has become my favorite to listen to. My favorite audiobook to listen to because there's so many gems in there that you forget about because it's such a big book. Yeah. And like so much of it's not in the movie.
Yeah, I actually really loved book 5 when I did my re-listen to it. Which I was surprised because like when I was listening to Goblet of Fire, like I didn't love it as much as I had previous times. I was just like wanting to get to the next one. And then like the next one like blew me away. I was like, I'm enjoying this so much more than I ever expected. The last 3 really, or
the last 3 are fantastic. Yeah. By the time I get back to 1, I'm like, I love 1. I can't listen to 2. I always get to the riddle part and I'm like, no, I don't want this. Next. And I go to 3. Okay, new question?
Yeah.
Whose turn is it?
Either of you.
Kat or me?
Who just went?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I have like no memory anymore.
I think Jesse went about the falling out of love thing.
Yeah, I just went.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go. It's my turn. Yeah. Okay, here's one. One of my weirdest fears is walking under ceiling fans or on top of grates. I feel like they're going to fall and crush me or collapse as soon as I step on it.
Yeah, someone else said a similar one that was like of it going, the ceiling fan going fast, which is like what my fear is. Like I hate when people put it on the 3rd thing. Let it be. It's too intense because it starts wobbling and then it's like it's gonna fly off and fall on my face and kill me. Like that's remember those toys we went and fun? So yeah. I'm picturing that happening in reverse on me.
I'm not generally afraid of fans, but like I have a big ceiling fan that's like directly above my bed, and that one scares me a little bit because like I don't spend a lot of time under ceiling fans, but like that one's like right above me when I'm sleeping. So even if it's not even on, I'm just like if there's some kind of earthquake or something, like the ceiling fan is just gonna like fall on top of me.
When they're not on, what if they're above my bed? I'm afraid that like there's going to be like a bug that makes its house there, and then like
before, like every spring when it's like time when I can start like using ceiling fans again, like it's a reason to. I have to like do a ceiling fan inspection and like wipe them free of like dust and bugs before I turn it on because I'm afraid of turning it on and like a fucking spider is gonna like fly at me. And dust falling everywhere, and I'm just,
I'm always afraid of the dust storm in California because there's just dust everywhere here in Southern California, at least. Okay, next. Hi, Christine, Jesse, and Kat. I had this teacher last year that was literally so scary. She would get so mad at random things, like when we didn't go outside at lunchtime. And I live in Norway, and it's really cold. Love a terrified student. She had a very realistic dream that she kidnapped her. Wow. Teacher kidnapping dream. That's intense. But I feel like everyone has a teacher like this. Have you guys had a teacher like this?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I've repressed so many memories from high school so long ago. I don't remember specifics, but I'm sure.
Like there was a teacher like this, like when she was like, I knew coming up that she was in 7th grade and I did not want to get her. And her name was Mrs. Harris. And she was horrifying. And I remember I just had her for study hall, and I would not make a peep in that class. And when someone tried to talk to me, I'd just be like, no. But Paul had her. And my brother is not the He got called home a couple times, and she was a terrible teacher though, because she would completely lose her temper, scream at people, tell them they were stupid. You know, like
I had a teacher just like this.
yeah,
That's horrible. I've never had anything that bad. These people should not be teachers. What the fork?
Yeah.
I can't remember if this is a story that Paul told me or if this is something I saw on TV, but like I feel like he told me one of his friends like spit in her coffee while she was out of the room, and then like they all watched her drink it when she got back. It's disgusting, and I don't approve. But like she is horrible to her students. So I know that she called Paul dumb and stuff, and it's just like you cannot know. Like
that's horrible. Teachers are so important for like the development of young people. Like they're just nurturing them, not calling them stupid.
Yeah, and
why are these awful people teachers? I'm mad about this.
No, and like I know she did it to like people in my grade, and before that, it's not like something new for Paul's class. So she shouldn't be allowed to teach there. I think like that teachers thing. What is it, like tenure?
Like if you don't like kids, don't be a teacher. Like I'm not going to be a teacher, but like if I was, I still you don't call kids stupid. You don't call anyone stupid like that. That's so abusive and mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Well, is it time for one of our fears?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Let's ask everyone in the chat, start thinking about what your Boggart would be, because we're going to wrap up our discussion with our Boggarts. And no one in anyone's emails except for one talked about what their Boggart would be. So it just leads me to believe that a lot of you haven't read Harry Potter and don't know what a Boggart is, which it's a creature that when it's in front of you mimics whatever you're afraid of and turns into it. So I think that's just what it does. I don't think it feeds off of that, but that's like it copies your biggest fears. So what would it turn into if it popped up in front of you? Anyway, fears, guys.
Should I go?
Yeah, go.
Okay, I have this one on my list as a joke for somebody. Ordering at Chipotle.
Is your fear?
Oh yeah, I forgot. You're always like scared of all the options or something.
Oh my God, you always yell at me. You're like, there's not that many options.
There is not. And it's so simple. It's like, do you want white or brown rice? Like, there's two choices, Jesse. And they ask you white or brown rice.
Well, I always pick secret option 3, white rice with no cilantro.
I have like a childhood fear on here that I'll share.
Yeah.
I used to hate, and I still kind of do, like they still kind of make me anxious, the like emergency tests on TV. Like, yeah, and like goes staticky, and it's like, this is an emergency test of the storm system. Blah, blah, blah. Like those used to creep me out so bad. I don't even know why, but it just like, I don't know, like something about it just like gave me nightmares.
I had a similar fear to that one, except it was just all screens in general because of the Ring for years. Years. I wouldn't let a screen go uncovered in my bedroom. I would like have to put down my laptop during high school. I had like a little TV and it was in a cabinet. So cabinet had to be closed. That's still like the most horrifying concept to me because screens are everywhere. Yeah. And like, if something can come out of the screen and kill you, that there's nothing you can do. There's no protecting. Unless you like break the screen, then what if they can come through a broken screen even easier because there's a hole?
Right.
I mean, I'm more afraid of people watching me through the camera than something coming out.
Easy. I can just go for it.
I mean, there's people watching you right now, so.
That's horrifying.
A gasp.
The most scary thing of all. One of my fears, this is a pretty basic fear, flying on airplanes. It's just an entire anxiety experience. Like my airport is 3 hours away. So first I have to like drive 3 hours and I have to leave like 6 hours before my flight because I'm really paranoid about getting to the airport early enough.
Yeah.
And then also, like, once you're on the plane, like, you have zero control. Like, every time I get on a plane, I just have to accept that, like, if the pilot messes up, I die today, which is horrifying. But yeah, I have a lot of anxiety around flying.
I was just gonna say, I opened up my list and I forgot to say some of these things.
What else is on there?
I now always am afraid of like a gas leak and the apartment exploding, because of one, a book we read, and another because there was actually a morning when I woke up and I smelled gas, and my neighbor underneath me had left his stove on all night, and there was nothing I could do about it, but I thought it was coming from my apartment. It was so strong. But like he could have murdered us all. We could have all died.
Yeah.
I called the gas company. And now I have like all these sensors in here for all different types of gas. When I'm sick, I have this fear like it's gonna happen and I won't be able to smell the gas because my nose is stuffed up. I also have a fear of like the car exploding because like the fumes went in wrong when I have to do the gas myself. Because I grew up in New Jersey, so I don't have to do the gas.
That's right. That's funny.
And also, like, my family used to have a boat, and like we all went to boating school. I went to boating school with everyone to get my license when I was 10, even though I couldn't get it like actually, and it wouldn't work until I was 16. But like when I was 10, I was there, and I learned about how the boat can explode if you put the gas in wrong. And this is probably where.
Oh my gosh.
Where the car fear came from.
I mean, that kind of stuff scares me too. Like, I saw a news report the other day about like this whole like block that like blew up because there was a weird gas mainline problem. It like wasn't even any of the like customers, the residents' problems. It was like the infrastructure failed, and like there's no warning. There's nothing they could have done to be safe about it. Like,
did you ever go through a phase where you're afraid because of those exploding phones?
I'm afraid of my laptop right now because I dropped it a while back. And like now the battery is like kind of malfunctioning, and part of my computer seems a little swollen. And I was like Googling like what happens if like the computer is like warped and weird. And there's a lot of results about like batteries that like swell and explode. So I'm like constantly afraid my laptop is going to explode now.
Oh my God.
I need to buy a new one because it's been like the battery has been like messed up for the last year. But I still use it all the time. I'm just scared every time I log in.
Someone this sick book said she's afraid to go on a cruise because she can't swim and what if it turns the Titanic. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm always afraid of cruises turning into the Titanic, even though they have enough lifeboats. But like, there was also the movie Poseidon when the cruise ship just friggin' flipped over, and like that was horrifying. They were trapped in an upside down cruise ship.
Did you guys hear that they're building a new boat called like Titanic 2 that's gonna like launch in the next couple of years? I'm not going on that.
Something Titanic 2.
Don't do that. Well, there's this whole conspiracy about how like the Titanic that sunk wasn't actually the original Titanic, which was really interesting. Because there was another older boat that was very similar and that was supposed to go, and it had like different window positions, and so people think it was like the older boat that had already broken before that was like the new Titanic that sank. I mean, I kind of believe it.
There's a starting the Boggart discussion. This last email here says that she says that she'd probably say that her weirdest fear is partying. I have no idea why going to a party full of people freaks me out, especially because I'm an extrovert. And for whatever reason, everyone in college sort of expects and assumes that everyone loves partying. But the idea of dancing around drunk, sweaty people gives me anxiety. If this fear was a Boggart, it would probably be a drunk frat boy.
Oh my gosh.
That would be such a funny Boggart to ridiculous. Like, what would he turn to? Like a little kid, probably. So what are y'all's Boggarts?
I can't decide what mine would be because I can't think of what would like represent Claustrophobia.
I think what would represent claustrophobia is like darkness all around you, like closing in. Could he turn into like a big cloak of darkness? Or like the desk represents like a desk job for Newt Scamander. So like, claustrophobia. I mean, it could be just like two walls around you too, like closing you away from people.
Right. Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be scary.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Kat, what's yours?
I want probably moths. Like
a giant moth, like
no, not one giant moth, because like that would be terrifying, but that would be easier to avoid. I'm talking like a horde of moths like flying in my hair, like bats or something. I wouldn't like that one bit.
People in the chat are saying Kat in the chat said hers would be a black hole.
Those are scary.
That is scary. Libby says I want to go skydiving, but I'm scared I'll land in those electrical wires.
Oh yeah.
That's an irrational, kind of irrational, not really, but like kind of, right? They wouldn't put you
the specificity of landing in the wires is what makes it a little unusual. Because like skydiving could be something that plenty of people are afraid of like falling. But like landing in electric wires is a little unusual. But still terrifying.
Hunter says a dust bunny. He's deathly afraid of dust.
Oh my god.
Bugs. What?
A coffin.
A coffin. I feel like I'm having a hard time deciding on mine because, like, I feel like it could manifest in so many different ways, just depending on the day. Like, I think like one of them would be the ring girl carrying like a scythe, and then like, one of them could just be like a bunch of nuts. Like I'm like afraid of nuts because my family's allergic to nuts. Like I don't like to be around them. Like I'm not allergic, but like I will run away from walnuts. I don't want them near me. I don't want them.
That's an irrational one.
Oh, that is, I guess, an irrational. I'm afraid of everything that my family's allergic to. Anytime I try something new, I'm afraid I'm going to be allergic to and die. And I have like an hour where I'm like, okay, am I okay? Am I okay? Am I okay? Why would you want to yeet yourself through the sky on purpose? Hi, Ella. But yeah, so like a bunch of nuts. I feel like it would be like Triss's. It would be like going through your fear landscape. I forgot about. We could have talked about fear landscapes. Mine, or it could turn into a giant bug. That'd be horrifying.
Someone sitting on your pillow.
Nah, it'd probably be the bug before the pillow. The bug on the pillow. Oh my god, that one time there was a spider on my pillow, scarred me. Oh, someone says I'm afraid of loneliness. What would your Boggart turn into? Everyone in the room would like disappear.
That's like my dream.
Oh my gosh. Do we want to read any more? Or do you want to wrap up?
We should announce our winners.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You guys announce the winners. I'm gonna look up what our theme for next month is because I forget.
Okay. So we were holding a giveaway for Cursed. That is not Cursed, that's Cursed. Cursed on our Instagram and Twitter, and we are going to announce the winners now. I will announce the Instagram one. For Instagram,
both of them, because you have them handy.
I will announce both winners. The Instagram winner is Samantha_Swifty. Congratulations. You won a copy of Cursed. We'll reach out to you on Instagram and get your information. And the Twitter winner is Jenna from @Jenna Bookhaven. Congratulations, Jenna. Again, we will reach out to you on Twitter. Congrats, guys. Again, this is our Booksplosion book of the month for the month of November. So if you didn't win, you should still pick it up and join us because we love discussing books with you guys.
Yeah, and this is going to be a fun one. It's going to be a Netflix show too. So you got to read the book before the show.
And lots of beautiful illustrations throughout this book that you need in your life. If I can pop one open. Ooh, look.
Guys, I don't remember where we wrote down all the themes.
Ooh,
I'll find it.
balancing her book.
Oh no. But yeah, if you missed out on this giveaway, we're sorry you missed it, but follow our social medias because we'll probably hold more giveaways in the future. If we do, it'll be on social media. So at Booksplosion on Twitter and Instagram to stay up to date on all of our Book of the Month announcements and like Dear Booksplosion announcements, stuff like that.
Yes. While they're looking for the topics, I'm going to just go back over the Booksplosion Books of the Month for the rest of the year. So this month, we are reading The Fountains of Silence by Ruta Sepetys, and our live show is going to be on November 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this channel. So you should pick this book up and read it. I loved it. It's fantastic. You should join us. Again, November, we're reading Curse. We've talked about that quite a bit tonight, but definitely check this one out. It's by Thomas Wheeler, and illustrations are by Frank Miller. And then in December, we're reading A Curse So Dark and Lonely by BRIGID KEMMERER. I think that's how you say it. I'm super excited about
The themes are at the very bottom of the original Dear Booksplosion doc.
Oh,
Our theme for November is Thanksgiving food, turkey, leaves, holiday-themed question, favorite holiday food, least favorite holiday memory, writing themed.
so we didn't pick one?
a combination of Thanksgiving theme and writing.
Thanksgiving and NaNoWriMo. What are you thankful for? Are you participating in NaNoWriMo? What are you writing?
And you can talk about Thanksgiving stories, like least favorite Thanksgiving, funny Thanksgiving stuff that's happened.
Ooh, your Black Friday horror stories.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Or
like family drama horror stories on Thanksgiving. Yeah,
or just things that you're thankful for. Too.
Yeah, things that you're thankful for. Things that like your favorite part of Thanksgiving, food, dinner. Like I love hearing about like people's like specialty dishes. So like if your family makes a specialty dish and that's like your thing, and like if you went to someone else's Thanksgiving, you'd be like, they don't have this, and or they made this wrong. Like, what is your dish there?
Or your family's traditions. Like if your family does anything that's kind of like unique or different, then tell us about that.
Email us
at emails
R
letter R
at gmail.com. I'll put it in the chat. And our December, are we announcing our December one as well?
I think we can wait because it'll overload people if we tell them like what our December theme is. I'm like, don't want to forget what the November theme is.
Right.
So like writing and Thanksgiving, favorite Thanksgiving foods, thankful for, dramatic like Thanksgivings, anything having to do with Thanksgiving, or writing because it's NaNoWriMo.
Right.
Are you guys doing NaNoWriMo?
I'm doing October Rimo, and then I'm doing finish the rest of your book throughout the next 2 months.
I'm going to be writing through the month of November, but not the NaNoWriMo way. So
Cool.
Yeah. Kitten, what about you? Are you doing NaNoWriMo?
Revise the Rimo?
The plan is yes, but I'm planning to do a different project than the one I'm currently working on. So like I can't even think about anything else until I finish. Like I'm trying to finish this one before NaNoWriMo so I can do something else.
Gotcha.
And so I don't want to think about NaNoWriMo approaching because then I'm like, I'm not done with current project. I can't even like begin to think about
it. You could always use NaNoWriMo for wherever you are and start like whatever you're on.
If I don't finish this book, if I don't finish my book this week, I'm canceled. I can't. I'm done. I quit.
You got this. Is anyone on the chat doing NaNoWriMo? Someone else is doing finish my book or Rimo.
Wait, I have an ending question for you guys. What was your like all-time favorite Halloween costume that you dressed up through or for throughout the years?
I know mine.
What's yours?
I was Sailor Moon, and my mom made me like this custom Sailor Moon costume that was like perfect. Like I told her exactly what I wanted. Like it was made to fit me. It was excellent.
Nice. Mine was, there's two. I guess there's three. In high school, like I went out and bought overalls and like the mustache, and we dyed a hat green and one red. And Jenna and I were Mario and Luigi, and I love the mustache was like perfect, and it was like one that clips into your nose, so it like actually moves, and I would like wiggle my nose, and it would go.
Nice.
I was Luigi, and then my favorite ones that were like bought, but we had this. I think the LL Bean catalog had like really great children's costumes, and growing up, I'd always be excited to look through there and find my costume. And like I was, I loved Grease, like when I was 9 or 8, and I got the outfit that she wears at the end of Grease when she's singing "We Go Together," or like wait, no, what is that one? Electrifying, that one. I found it so cool. Felt so cool being her. And I Dream of Jeannie. I also felt cool being her because I used to watch her on Nick at Night.
I think one of my favorites was I was Clifford the big red dog. My sister was Emily. Was that her name? Like the owner of Clifford or whatever. So.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. You guys are so cute with your sister. The only year I did a coordination with Olivia, she was an old obese man, and she had like all these pillows inside her, and like I was an old woman.
Oh my
gosh.
I
was, like, hunched over with a cane, and I had a pillow in my butt.
Oh,
it was very cute.
All right, well, I think that's it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, this month we're reading the Fountains of Silence, so pick it up and join us. Our live show is going to be on November 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And email us at emailsareawesome@gmail.com with all your Thanksgiving or writing stories. Tell us all the things. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye.